Have you ever heard of the Rothschilds? For centuries, their name has been synonymous with immense wealth and power in the West. But what if I told you there's a family in the East whose story is just as, if not more, epic and influential? Today, we're diving into the incredible history of the Sassoon family, often called the Rothschilds of the East. Their journey is a sprawling saga of ambition, trade, and controversy that reshaped global commerce. Our story begins not in luxury, but in Baghdad, where the Sassoons were a prominent Jewish family, serving as the city's chief treasurers for centuries. They were respected, influential, and deeply rooted in their community. But the early 19th century brought political turmoil. The local ruler, Daud Pasha, became increasingly hostile, and the family's patriarch, David Sassoon, saw the writing on the wall. He knew staying meant risking everything. In 1829, David made a life-altering decision. He fled Baghdad, first to Persia, and then to a bustling port city under British control, Bombay, which we now know as Mumbai. He arrived with his family, but little else. Yet, David possessed something more valuable than money: an incredible mind for business, a reputation for integrity, and a vast network of contacts. He couldn't speak English at first, but he understood the universal language of trade. In Bombay, David Sassoon didn't just rebuild, he laid the foundation for a global empire. He started a trading business, dealing in everything from textiles to precious metals. His motto was candor and commerce, reflecting his belief in honest dealings. He established the firm David Sassoon & Co., and his timing was perfect. The British Empire was expanding, and new trade routes were opening up. David was a visionary. He saw the potential in connecting the markets of India, China, and Britain. He started by trading Indian cotton yarn and textiles. He sent his sons to manage branch offices in key locations across Asia, like Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Canton, as well as back in London. This created a powerful, family-run network that could move goods and capital across the globe with unmatched speed and efficiency. The Sassoons were pioneers of globalization long before the term was common. Now, we need to talk about the most profitable, and by far the most controversial, part of their business, the opium trade. While David Sassoon initially focused on other goods, he quickly realized the immense profits to be made from selling Indian-grown opium to China. At the time, this trade was technically controlled by the British East India Company, but private traders like Sassoon found ways to dominate the market. This is a dark chapter in history. The opium trade had devastating consequences for millions of people in China, leading to widespread addiction and social breakdown. The Chinese government tried to stop the influx of the drug, which ultimately led to the Opium Wars with Britain. The Sassoons, as major players in this trade, profited enormously from this human crisis. They used their fast ships, called clippers, to transport the opium, and their wealth grew exponentially. It's a critical and uncomfortable part of their story that can't be ignored when we talk about how their fortune was built. As their wealth soared, the Sassoons became known for their incredible philanthropy. Back in Bombay, David Sassoon funded the construction of schools, hospitals, synagogues, and libraries. He built docks, like the Sassoon docks, which are still in use today, transforming the city's infrastructure and providing jobs for thousands. He was deeply committed to his community, both Jewish and non-Jewish, and his contributions left a lasting legacy on the city of Mumbai. After David's passing, his eldest son, Abdullah, took the reins. He later moved to London, changed his name to Sir Albert Sassoon, and became a baronet and a close friend of the British royal family. He and his brothers continued to expand the family's business and social influence. They assimilated into British high society, marrying into aristocratic families and becoming fixtures in London's elite circles. Other sons, like Elias David Sassoon, felt sidelined and decided to strike out on their own. In 1867, Elias founded a rival company, E.D. Sassoon & Co. This new firm was just as ambitious, investing heavily in mills, factories, and real estate across Asia. The competition between the two family branches was intense, but it also spurred even greater growth. Together, the two Sassoon firms dominated trade in the Far East for decades. They were instrumental in developing the economies of Hong Kong and Shanghai, building iconic landmarks like the famous Cathay Hotel on the Shanghai Bund. By the early 20th century, the Sassoon name was legendary. They were a dynasty that had risen from refugees to global titans of industry and finance. They had navigated political upheavals, built cities, and financed industries. But like all empires, their dominance began to wane. The world was changing. The end of the opium trade, the rise of nationalism in India and China, and to world wars completely altered the global landscape. The Communist Revolution in China in 1949 was a major blow. The Sassoons lost their vast holdings there, a core part of their empire. In the following decades, the family's businesses were gradually sold off or dissolved. The descendants scattered across the world, many choosing paths outside of the family business. The era of the Great Sassoon Trading Empire came to a quiet end. So, why are they called the Rothschilds of the East? The comparison is fitting. Both families started from humble beginnings, built vast fortunes through finance and trade, and created international networks run by family members. Both wielded immense influence, not through political office, but through economic power. And both left a complex legacy of incredible development and philanthropy, mixed with controversial business practices that had far-reaching consequences. The story of the Sassoons is a powerful reminder of how global fortunes can be made and lost. It's a tale of migration, ambition, and the complex interplay between commerce and morality. Their empire may be gone, but their impact on cities like Mumbai, Shanghai, and Hong Kong is still visible today. They literally built parts of the modern world. What do you think? Is their story one of brilliant entrepreneurship or ruthless exploitation? Maybe it's a bit of both. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this one. See you next time.